What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome to the RNEWS Evening Show. And let's just jump into it. From r/politics, Trump falsely claims he has won election and demands Supreme Court stops more ballots being counted. Love the tagline on CNN right now. Trump says he'll go to Supreme Court, unclear why. I also liked breaking news: a winner of a presidential election has not been determined. What a world we live in. That is fantastic. Now if every other news network would follow suit and mute him every time he talks this nonsense. The sad Democrats are trying to disenfranchise you. So I'm going to get the SCOTUS to stop any more vote counting. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. The only question is, does he have a sufficiently coherent model of the situation in his head that he's capable of understanding that he's lying? Or is he just a non-sapient, nonsense-spewing Chinese room pressed into the vague shape of a human being? This is what literally everybody predicted he was going to do. And yet, actually watching him say it is bone-chilling. Yes. Fox News' return on 20 years investment. It legit feels like a Black Mirror version of an episode of Scooby-Doo. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Wisconsin election results: Biden overtakes Trump with 4% of votes left to count. This is a perfect example of why it's so important that all votes are counted. That's why Trump doesn't want them to be counted. And a perfect example of why a certain someone doesn't want all of them counted. I think that's the most frustrating thing to me, the fact that this many people look at Trump and everything he has done and would vote for him. Again, what is wrong with this country? How can people be this stupid? I hear ya, just woke up, and even with the glimmers of hope here and there, I just have knots in my stomach. Proud of our neighbors. Great time to start learning how to pronounce the names of our cities. Ashwaubenon, Waukesha, Okonoma, Waukesha, Sheboygan, Manitowoc, Wauwatosa, Edit. Counties 2 Waushara, Waupaca, Trempealeau. Long laid out Agami, Juneau, Menominee, Shawano, Ozaukee. My Republican half-sister in Y is gonna crap a brick if Y goes to Biden. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Trump promised a vaccine by election day, none have even applied for approval. Can't believe he would lie to us. Deep state out there deep stating. So let's see. Fauci and other experts said it would not go away on its own. Trump said it would. Fauci and other experts said we would see another spike wave in the fall, which we currently are. Trump said we're rounding the curve out of it. Fauci and other experts said not to expect a vaccine until 2021 at the earliest. Trump said we'd have it momentarily, and before the election. Looks like expertise does know what the frick it's talking about. Generally, Trump and his base's response to this information is, fire Fauci. And what does the future hold? Fauci and other experts say we will experience a brutal, dark winter with COVID. Trump says we won't. Vote the dangerous idiot out. Who would have guessed that listening to experts and scientists would be a good idea during the freaking global pandemic? It's coming in 2 weeks and you will be very happy. That's the Trump version of the check is in the mail, after he sabotages the entire postal service for his own personal benefit. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Van Jones, the fact that it's this close hurts. I watched this live. He was on point. It is what hurts the most. This many people can stand behind a person like DTE is saddened. Disappointing. Exactly. This dude has done horrible things. Exclamation mark. How TF people are just like meh, I don't get it. I've lost a lot of respect for the citizens of this country. For frick's sake, I don't get it. How did 65 million Americans look at everything that Donald Trump has done over the past 4 years? Locking kids in border cages, his blind worship of Putin, his bungling of the coronavirus response, etc., and go and say, hey, I actually like this. I'll take 4 more years of this. Please. Fricking morons. All of them. Beyond respect. I've just lost a lot of hope for the USA today. 2. This was America's last chance to redeem itself in my eyes. 2016 could always have been a blip. But no, this is who we are. Fox News is a hell of a drug. It's like hallucinogenic crack. You have to go further back. To Nixon. One of his election advisors was Roger Ailes. Fox News was the result of what he learned from that campaign. I think the fact that Biden wasn't a compelling candidate for many is also an issue. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Millennials and Gen Zers are breaking voter turnout records in Texas. Also, full credit to those boomers who have been on the right side of history. We see you. I cannot imagine living through 12 years of Reagan and Bush Sr. as a progressive. This is my mother. She is an anti-boomer and she has grown so much with our generation. Good things are happening, people. There are way more of us than most people realize. Also Gen X millennial cusper. We didn't have the numbers, and also we somehow went from too young for a voice to too old for a hope overnight. Isn't it so sad? I feel like I went from being a kid who knows nothing to being old and irrelevant in about a year. I say us cuspers need to redefine 40. The second silent generation. The silence generation. I am a millennial. I'm 38 years old. I graduated high school in 2000, graduated 4-year college in 2005, and got my master's degree in 2011. I have been a professional for 12 years, have been married for 14 years, have 3 children, and am currently living in my third home that I've owned. I'm pretty close to buying my first pair of white New Balance shoes. I'm a fully functioning adult in a complex society, still wondering when the boomers will stop thinking of us as entitled little kids. Edit. I also drive a minivan. How millennials are killing the voter suppression industry. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Trump campaign mocks Biden as he visits son's grave on election day. There are over 200,000 extra dead in need of visiting by those of us still here. All as a result of Trump's gross incompetence and callous uncaring for anyone who isn't himself. My mom died in July. We still haven't been able to hold a service. Trump can go frick himself. Mr. Trump, meanwhile, spent his morning lambasting his opponent on Fox News, while also calling out the conservative outlet for its coverage of the election. Fortunately, he's drawing flies, he said about Mr. Biden. He's not getting anybody to go listen to him too much. Actually, Fox puts him on more than anybody else, which is just sort of shocking to me, because Fox has changed a lot. Trump is on Fox, complaining about how Fox is pumping up Biden. What? Are we living an episode of Parks and Rec right now? Pence was literally drawing flies during the debate. Wait, does he think Pence on Fox News is actually Biden? Okay, I just had to look it up. But apparently, calling a lid for the day is when a candidate alerts the press that he's done campaigning for the day, so the reporters can go home or back to their hotel rooms. It's an insult here, because they're implying Biden has so little energy that he would be calling a lid this early in the day. It also implies that Biden visiting his son's grave is part of his campaign, which I think is a far bigger insult. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like, and if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show, and I'll see you tomorrow.